how to build a great physique in 2025. Let's go. This is a breakdown of some tips I want you guys to try and stick to, because the best advice I could give you is get in shape. Simple as. If you're not in shape, if you don't have visible abs, then you need to do something about it. If you're bulking, it's a little bit different, but how long have you been bulking for? The perm bulk, or are you just trying to get strong and you're just eating shit? The best advice I could give you is get in shape. So hopefully these are some tips and breakdown of just years of experience, getting some incredible results with clients and having one of the most successful coaching companies in the world. So let's go. Here we go. Protein, standard 1 to 1.2 grams per pound of body weight. If you're in a calorie surplus and you're trying to build a little bit, lean bulk, I would say 250 to 500 calories above your maintenance. If you're cutting, then depends on how aggressive you would be. I did put it on my story the other day. You might start off at 250, go to 500, and you might end up going all the way up to 1,000 calories in a deficit, maybe even more. This is with food. Carbohydrates, this is essentially for building 2 to 3 grams per pound of body weight to fuel your workouts, to feel full, have energy. Carbs are our primary fuel source. If you want to get a good pump, eat the carbs. You've got these the carnivore guys and you've got the keto people. You can't get a pump. It's just not going to happen. It's the worst type of workout when you've not had carbs. You might feel light, but you need to use carbs as fuel. I would prioritize whole foods, lean proteins, complex carbs, healthy fats, and plenty of fruits and vegetables. Do not forget about that. I would track your weight and make sure you're weighing yourself, if not every day, a couple of times a week. You take progress pictures, measurements. If you're gaining, you want to gain as little as possible each week. I would say 0.5 to a pound per week. You're building up. If you gain a little bit too much, do a little bit of a mini cut and then cut back. And then repeat that cycle over and over and over again. That's what I've done for over a decade. Usually now I won't bulk up big. I won't put on maybe 15 kilos. I won't do that. I did put on probably about 10 kilos not so long ago, and I hated it. That's when I went to Ibiza, and it's just not good for my mental health at all. You're big, you're strong, but my line of work and the type of message I'm trying to portray, it's definitely not the vibe. And you struggle running, and I couldn't do any running for a very long time. So being athletic and being a little bit lighter is key, and just really going slowly with this. If you're trying to cut, I'm a little bit different when it comes to cutting. Depending on the type of person, depending on the client, if they are a high level athlete, bodybuilder, someone who's been in this game for a long time, it would be a slower cut and not as aggressive. If it's a beginner or if it's someone who's got a lot of weight to shift, I will lose as much weight as possible, okay, within reason to a degree, depending on how much energy they've got, okay? That's number one. I will push them to a point where they're going hard, but it's not overboard. If we go overboard, we'll pull back, increase calories, ease off the intensity. If they're really fatigued, do a deload week. So with losing fat, it depends. But if you're an athlete or something like that, the slower the better. But most people are not, and most people are not consistent. So they'll lose a pound next week. They're out on the piss or whatever, and it just takes 6 months to do a cut when it really should be done in 12 weeks max. Definitely take your body measurements, your progress pictures. Fat intake 20 to 30% from total calories. Weight train. Now, I'm someone who's definitely overtrained. Weight training, I would say 3 to 5. If you really want to get a great solid physique, 3 is plenty, but 5, you're really going to gain a lot of size fast if you're not overdoing it and you're not pushing it too hard. I'm the bread and butter of overtraining. I've ruined myself over and over and over again. But going through that and overtraining, I've learned so much. When I get stronger, when I get bigger, I actually train less. So just remember that. I like to include squats, deadlifts, bench press, pull-ups, things like that. You don't have to, but I think if you want to be like an athlete, you want to look like an athlete and perform like an athlete, these are key lifts. Concentrate on progressive overload, gradually increasing the weight, if not intensity. You can change up different intensities. You slow on the eccentric. You can do drop sets, supersets, things like that. There's so many different ways. As long as you're progressing, that's the main thing. When I'm training clients, and I have done for years, I'm teaching someone who's not been in the gym that long. I always try and get them to do different styles of training. Supersets, drop sets, things like that are really good. Giant sets, just try it out, because there's too many people in the fitness industry that just like one way and that's it. And there's so many ways you can go about it. I can't stand these weirdos who just train a specific way for like 10 years. It's so boring. You've not even experimented. You've not tried things. For me, for example, if I go and train arms and I go and train arms heavy, I don't get a good response. If I want to build my arms, I go in and do high reps. So it's different. It depends on the body part as well, depending on the response, I think personally. And you only discover that and learn that when you've trained for so long and you've tried different things. I would suggest sleep 6 to 9 hours. Focus on your sleep, guys, as much as possible. I've not been someone who has been good at sleep, 4 hours max for many years. But now I'm trying to get 8 hours, really trying to prioritize on that. Cardio sessions, I would say, even if you're off season and you're trying to build, keep that cardio in there. There's nothing wrong. Look after the heart. Look after the lungs. Keep fit. Otherwise, you're going to be out of breath walking around, and you don't want that. I would say 500, 1,000 calories. If you probably both, to be honest, you could start off if you are still trying to build. You don't have to do two cardio sessions. You could lower it. No, you could up the cardio frequency and then bring down the actual calories burned per cardio session. Say 250 every other day or something like that. If I'm trying to cut, then this could start off at 500 calories per week, up to 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, and it could keep going on. But that depends on the person. So this moves on to steps. So if you're trying to lose weight using cardio, so low intensity cardio is great, but even better is doing steps. So including steps and upping the steps, you can get a really good return on investment, because you're not overkilling it. You're not overdoing it, and the central nervous system isn't taxed. So if you can go out and get 20,000 steps in a day, you may have to only do a little amount of actual cardio on a machine or something like that. So yeah, I'm not good at steps in Bali. It's just not the place to walk. Maybe if I go to the beach, but I just can't be arsed driving there. So I'm a cardio man. Hydration, 3 to 4 liters a day, and take that with this pinch of salt. For me, and what we try and teach our clients, is hydration is very important. And I take a lot of electrolytes before training and during training and after. But it all depends on you, your body, the climate, the heat, your lifestyle, how much you're training. Because I would go off your urine color. If you go to the toilet and your urine's piss dark, you're not hydrated. I always try and keep my urine as clear as possible. That's the easiest way to go about it. And then when you're trying to hit that goal, just track your water intake and see how many liters you're consuming on a daily basis. But yeah, make sure you are hydrated all the time. And maybe towards the end of the night, you could pull it back so you don't piss your pants at night. And if you are still wanting to drink a little bit at night, then have some salt before bed, and that usually stops you pissing. If body weight stalls, this is if you're building or you're cutting, what do? There's not many fundamentals that you have to change. If body weight stalls, if you're trying to build, what you're going to do? Eat more food. It's simple. Eat more food is the simplest way to put it. If not, what's the other thing you do? Bring down your activity levels, but that's probably not going to be possible. You could bring down the cardio, but you really don't want to, because you want to keep fit and healthy. Because when you're doing a set of lunges or back squats and you're tired and you can't even push yourself to the max because your cardiovascular shit, then you're going to be thinking, oh yeah, I need to focus on cardio. So if you're building, the only thing you change is food. That's it. Food. Eat more. People are like, I I can't gain weight. I'm like, you're not eating enough. Oh yeah, but I eat enough. I eat 4,000 calories a day. I'm like, bro, eat more. It's one of the most simplest answers that people are so stupid, you just don't get it. If you want to get bigger, you eat more. And don't eat shit. Don't just eat crap. And on the other flip side, if you're trying to cut, what are the fundamentals that we can change here? Increase steps, so activity, do more cardio, decrease calories. You could do more training sessions, as in weights, but that's going to tax you. So the best things really for you are steps. And if someone who you can't get enough steps in, what can you do? Are you're lacking time? Bring down the food. So there's not many things you change. But the problem is, the reason why people don't get results is they're not consistent. There's no fucking rocket science here. It's simple. And if people are trying to sell you some crazy program, it's bullshit. We've got thousands of people in shape. Thousands. And I've got hundreds of people in shape. It's easy. It's literally easy. When it sinks in, some of the people I've got in shape, they've struggled all their life. And I've just said, okay, what's up? I just not losing any more weight. I'm just saying, just keep going. Just stay consistent. Just trust the process. They're like, you sure? I'm like, yeah, mate. I know exactly what I'm doing. I've done this fucking thousands of times. Just stick at it. A week later, they've lost weight. But what usually happens is they've not got the accountability. They don't know what they're doing. They don't realize that it's happening, but they're not seeing the result. That's why you still do the work without even seeing the result. You just put it in. They eat shit, they go off track, they binge eat, they go and drink, they start snacking, they don't weigh their food out, and they don't get the results. And they think, oh, I've got a bad metabolism. It's bad genetics. I can't get rid of this lower belly fat. It's bullshit. So yeah, if you're really trying to get shredded, you don't want to do it too fast, too soon. You want to go hard because it's not meant to be sustainable, a cut, because you can't sustain it for the rest of your life. The faster you can get it done, the better. But you bring on your calories, that's great. If you try and up cardio, you might be too fatigued. So steps are a good one. And low intensity, if you do high intensity, you're going to be tired. And then if you are losing a lot of strength, then that's something to definitely consider. Whether you need an extra rest day or you want to pull down the intensity, deload week. On the flip side, again, if you're trying to build and you're not seeing gains, visual gains or measurements, and you're not seeing strength gains, then you're probably not resting enough. You got the Mike Menster era, and he's so right a lot of the time. I think anyway, is you just need more rest. You need to sleep more, rest, and come again and attack it even harder. I spent so many years just overtraining, and I would ruin myself to train legs so hard, and I shouldn't be training legs for at least a week. But I'm in there 4 days later. Instead of training my quads, I'm training hamstrings, and I'm just cooked. And I get bigger, but I could get even bigger, but I'm not getting much stronger. I'm so fatigued. And then we got another one here. We got stress management. Something I really believe in now, guys, is breath work. Is just taking that time for yourself, do some meditation. It's key. It's so key in your mental health. That holistic approach. So really try and focus on looking after from within. So yeah, that's my tips on how to achieve a great physique in 2025. And finally, what are the secrets? Is it testosterone? Is it trenbolone? Well, they do work, but you've seen plenty of people taking gear and they look like shit. They're gonna think they look like me. There's so many people out there. I won competitions back in the day, natural, against people on gear. If you don't believe me, I don't care. But I've got the resume to show. And people didn't believe I was natural. I was 100% natural. Didn't take anything until I was 21. And I was beating people. I was 19, I was 18, I was 20, and I was beating people who've been training for 10 years and on gear. Just think about that. Because of my shape, my condition, my symmetry, it blew people out of the park. And the size as well. I didn't have as much size as most of the guys. Definitely not. But I had a lot of size in comparison to my age. And that comes with genetics. It comes with genetics. Don't get me wrong, I'm a hard worker. You can't take that away from me. But people, they look at me now, they look at athletes and they think gear, gear, gear. Like I'm running 125 milligrams a test per week, which is hardly anything. And I look better than 99% of these guys on tren, high doses, grams of gear, because of my genetics and how hard I train. It's a combination. So you're thinking here, oh, I need to jump on a cycle. It's like, no, you need to experience what it's like for years. Remember, I was training at 14. My first competition was at 17. Training what it's like natural and achieving a superhuman physique naturally. If you're not consistent with your diet, if you're not consistent with your training, and you're not on point, regimented, day by day, week by week, year by year, for a long stint, you're not like that and you're just jumping on gear, you're going to look like shit and you're just an embarrassment. It's just people like, oh, yes, should I jump on gear? I'm like, hang on a minute, mate. Look on your profile. You've literally got tits. You've got tits. You're so out of shape. You clearly train like the biggest little pussy ever. And I'm just like, dude, what are you even talking about? You're not even training properly. You're at 10%. So it's just, don't even think about taking testosterone unless you've got some issues. I'm a different fucking kettle of fish. I am. You know what I mean? Like, it's, you don't need to go down my path. I don't want you to go down my path. Like, I might not be on it, testosterone, in a year. I don't know. But I'm giving you this advice because I've got the resume, I've got the experience, I know what I'm doing, but I would definitely advise doing it naturally. Yeah, I hope that helps, guys. I'll see you in the next one. If you need any help, I have started the inner circle and it's going to be 100%, 100% success rate. So think about that. If you want to come and work with me and my team, it's it's inevitable. It's 100% success. I will give you a full refund to the program if you don't get there. If you fuck around, if you make excuses, if you don't listen to what we say, then you're not getting a refund. But if you don't enjoy the experience and you don't think it's valuable and you've not made the progress, I will give you a full refund, hand on heart, no BS. I'm that confident in it. We've been doing this for a decade. It's the best in the biz. You will not get a service and a product like this out there. Guys, lots of love.